three, so I figured we'll get the presentation going. Um, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's with us tonight. Greatly appreciate the time that you're taking. My name is Jim Church. I am the Director of Strategic Initiatives for Questar 3 BOCES. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Youth Apprenticeship Program and just offer a short presentation to walk you through the program as well as to answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully do it successfully. So hopefully everybody can see that. And yet my slides are not working right now.
I can see them, Jim.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to get to my first slide and it's not working. So just bear with me for a second here. So let's see if I can make this work. Technology, what a wonderful thing. So tonight, thanks folks again for joining us. Here's the agenda for our conversation tonight. We're going to do just some introductions with regards to some of my colleagues who are joining us for the presentation tonight. As mentioned, we're going to do a brief overview, talk a little bit about why we created this program, how the program is run, the student eligibility, as well as what the on-the-job training looks like, what we're basing or modeling the program off of, as well as some outcomes. We have a couple of guests who are with us tonight who either went through the program or is a parent of a student who went through the program to talk about their experiences and share some insights. And we'll talk about what the next steps are in the program, as well as answer any questions that you have. I would ask anybody who has joined us, please stay on mute. If you have any questions, please in the chat box, please feel free to submit your questions and we will monitor those questions, and either during the presentation, if it's something that we should be touching on immediately, or at the end, we'll be answering your questions. Again, I'm Jim Church. Joining me tonight is both Melissa Fox, who is our principal down at our Donald Klein Technical School in Hudson, as well as Anthony DeFazio, who is our principal at Robert Gibson Technical School up in Troy. And also my colleagues, Joan Rogers and Lakia Walker, who are both work-based learning coordinators at our two education centers. So what is the Youth Apprenticeship Program? This program was created to model off of a true apprenticeship program in which we are providing both instruction as well as training and also workplace experiences, much like what an individual would be going through in a true apprenticeship program. It is a summer employment program for select students, and we'll be going into a little bit about, when I say select, what does that mean exactly? Because there are expectations and requirements for the program. The students that your students who were recommended by their instructors, there's a reason they were recommended, because we think that they would be good candidates for this program, and so we'll talk a little bit about that. Obviously, it's an opportunity for students to not only use their skills and show their skills in the workplace, but also gain valuable experience. It's also an opportunity for the students to learn from their employers, because what we have found is that the businesses that we have partnered with, there's a wide variety of businesses that we work with, whether they be big companies, small companies, whether they be private institutions such as colleges, or unique workplaces like Proctor's Theater, in which we had one of our students doing set design and building sets. So it's also obviously a pathway to future part-time or full-time employment. And as mentioned, one of our guests tonight, he will be talking a little bit about that. We have really, over the past few years, enjoyed some really great success stories with regards to kids who have either continued to work part-time during their senior year after their youth apprenticeship, and or going on to work full-time after their graduation. And last but not least, it's a resume builder. I can tell you this much: when I was 17 years old and I was packing bags at Price Chopper and collecting carts, I was not doing anything like what the students in our program are doing and building their resume as 16 and 17-year-olds. It's a really great experience for these kids. So why have a youth apprenticeship program? Well, the information that is on this slide hopefully pretty concisely shows where the need is out there with regards to the workforce pipeline and how there are shortages, both as it relates to an aging workforce, but also when you look on the right side of the screen, there are some really big projects this region is looking at over the next several years that are being proposed, whether it be global foundries, whether it be the offshore wind turbine project down at the port, whether it be the construction of a new Wadsworth Center for the Department of Health, or whether it be SUNY Poly and the potential for growth on that campus. There is an aging workforce that is going to be phasing out. And quite honestly, there is not a workforce there to replace it right now, at least not enough to be able to support the projects like this. And when you look at projects like this, you're talking about billions of dollars in economic development that could be severely impacted if we do not properly train the workforce for tomorrow. So there are great opportunities here. And we are in a really great spot as a BOCES program with regards to the students who go through our program. The kids, when they graduate, they are sought after. And whether the kids are going on to graduate and go into college programs, or if they're going into the workforce, a lot of our students, before they are making decisions, they're being chased by businesses because there's such a need out there. So it's not just the building trades, obviously, where there are shortages. I know you can't see on the right-hand side of the screen, probably, depending on the setup for your for this Zoom, but here's some information just with regards to the auto technologies and how there are shortages with regards to this industry and this area. If you've had to have your vehicle serviced for anything in particular in more recent years, you've probably had to wait. And just like with the building trades, there are needs out there in the field of auto technologies. And with that industry evolving with regards to the technology, it's not just what it used to be with regards to working on a car. There are computer chips that are part of that process. Our program is evolving as the technology is to meet the demands for these workforce shortages. So here are the 5 courses that make up the youth apprenticeship program. They are HVAC, they are construction technologies, they are automotive technologies, heavy equipment operations and repair, and welding. And I can tell you this much: the names that you see at the bottom of this slide with regards to the instructors for our program, if it wasn't for the great work that they do, and some of us are, or I should say some of them are on this Zoom tonight, if it wasn't for their dedication and their great abilities to help train these students, we wouldn't be able to offer a youth apprenticeship program. The students would not be prepared to go into a workplace to do the kind of work required. And these individuals who teach these classes, they're the reason why we're able to have the success that we've had over the past few years. So I'm going to ask my colleague, Joan Rogers, to talk about the next couple of slides. Joan?
Had to unmute myself. Welcome, everyone. My name is Joan Rogers. I'm the Work-Based Learning Coordinator at the Robert H. Gibson Technical School. Happy you're all here. I'm going to be just discussing the next couple of slides, how Questar III administers the youth apprenticeship program. So basically, in their junior year, students they're doing their career in technical math, they're doing career in technical science. Most classes at this point, I believe, have completed the OSHA training. If their class is doing that, I don't believe automotive tech does, but the other classes do the OSHA training. The job shadow, if you are part of the youth apprenticeship program, would occur in February, March, into April, occasionally May. these are just some of the highlights. The youth apprenticeship agreement would be signed once you are chosen by a company to work there for the summer. And that's based on doing your job shadow. And then in May, we have something called a matching day where we invite a representative from the company, we invite students, we invite parents. It's basically a celebration where you're actually signing just a certificate, and it's a great evening that we have at our centers. Then the paid summer internship or apprenticeship, we just noticed that the minimum wage will be raised starting January 1st to $15 an hour. And we are seeking employment at places who are willing to pay our students or our apprentices above and beyond the minimum wage. Because let's face it, you can get, students are sought after everywhere for jobs, and we're sending them trained students, and we are just hoping and expecting that they'll be able to pay them a little bit more in these trained fields. In their senior year, there are opportunities to do an internship. You'll also be getting your English, your ELA, English Language Arts credit in your senior year, and plus your embedded program certifications. There are many students who, if they are working over the summer, many are invited to work part-time during their senior year. And there are several students right now who are doing just that. And as Mr. Church said, it's a great way to build a resume, make some money. There's no promises that you have to make to work there after you graduate, but when it's a good match, it's a good match. And we have, some examples of that. A student is here who will be speaking in a little bit about that. And I think that is it. Did I leave anything out, Mr. Church?
Nope, I think you did good.
Okay. Okay. Criteria for the youth apprenticeship program. You guys have already passed the first criteria, which is to be recommended by your teacher. That's step number 1. We ask that you no more than 8 unexcused absences in the year. Here's a hint. If you happen to be absent, make sure you write a note. That's what changes an unexcused absence into an excused absence. So those unexcused absences are, we want you to have a record of good attendance. So basically keep your grades up and your attendance, your unexcused absences down. We want you to be able to commit to at least 200 hours of work. That's a minimum. Honestly, the students who have been part of the youth apprenticeship program have worked well over 300 hours. You can work up to 48 hours according to the child labor laws, 48 hours during the course of a week. And we, that goes by pretty fast. So between 200 and 300 hours, that's like, I don't know, a month and a half, or summer's longer than that. There are limited placements. I want to mention here that this is a competitive process. You cross the first line by getting recommended by your teacher. The next step is to apply, that'll be in the next slide, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But like I said, around 3 to 4 slots. If we can secure more businesses, then we could potentially have more students. But there's a limited number of spots that we have right now across all of the programs. So keep in mind that it is competitive, and we'll be talking about the application in just a bit.
And just to piggyback on the businesses, we have developed over the last couple of years a good relationship with several businesses who have participated year after year. We're always looking to recruit new businesses. And also, from time to time, we will have a student who will express an interest in the business that maybe we have not been in contact with before. So we are always open to pursuing opportunities. I want to be clear, though, that not every business signs up for this program. So as much as a student may want to work for a business, that business may not want to participate in the program. We do have a signatory contract that we share with the businesses. So there are expectations on their end with regards to the work that the students will be doing, the oversight and things of that nature. So this is something where we look to try to provide as much opportunity for students and to be partnering with businesses, but in the same sense, it's not as if every business that is out there is signed up for this service. The other thing I will mention also that I'm sure we'll be touching on again, but transportation is a big factor. It's very important that if a student is going to be participating in this program, that he or she will be able to have the transportation to get themselves back and forth to work throughout the summer. So please take that into consideration. So here is just a little bit of information with regards to how do we come about, again, with regards to, creating a youth apprenticeship program. We are actually we're modeling it on an actual apprenticeship outline through the New York State Department of Labor, the Industrial Manufacturing Technician outline. We did so because what we found originally when we had introduced the program, which included all of the courses except auto technologies, that the 4 courses, the work and the skills required matched up very nicely with this outline. And so following this outline, basically, we are doing many of the things similar to what a true apprentice would be doing, including keeping track of the hours during the summertime that the students are working, so that if there are certain skills that they are working on during the work hours, when they are done at the end of the day, they are filling out their apprentice book, their blue book, and keeping track of those hours throughout the summer. So as you can see on the right-hand side of this slide, these are just some of the companies that we partner with in all 3 of the counties. And actually, in all honesty, we go beyond the 3 counties. We've actually had students who have been working over with businesses in Albany County, as well as in Saratoga County. This is it's a growing list, so to speak, but you look at some of the names that are on here. As I mentioned before, there's a wide variety of names that are on here, a lot of different fields, so to speak, but they're recognizable names also. So I want to just have Anthony DeFazio, if he wouldn't mind jumping in to introduce Austin Bailey, who is really I'd say a great kid. He's now a young adult, but a great student. And Anthony, if you wouldn't mind taking the lead here.
Good evening. My name is Anthony DeFazio, and I'm the principal of the Robert H. Gibson Technical School. And it is my pleasure to introduce Austin Bailey. I had the pleasure to be his CTE principal for 2 years. And I saw Austin actually become the future worker that he is now. And it was something to see. And he can talk about it, but there was something about the internship that just changed him really forever. And so Austin worked for W.J. Keller and Son, and it was a great match. And I think it's a tribute to W.J. Keller, and it's a tribute to Austin. Austin, I'm going to give it to you now.
Hi guys, my name's Austin Bailey. As Mr. DeFazio said, I worked for William J. Keller and Sons. So I started off with my job shadow with them in
Austin, I want to.
April
Austin, can you hear me?
of 2020. That day, the next day, I went and see Mr. Rogers, and yeah, you there?
I am. So
Hello.
there might be an issue with your microphone, but
Okay, give me 1 second.
that sounds better already.
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know what you heard, but I'll start over. So I'm Austin Bailey. I work for William J. Keller and Sons, and I started off as a job shadow with them in April of 2022. the day after I came back from that, I went to Miss Rogers and I told her, I know this is who I'm working for. This is who I want to do my youth apprenticeship with. Uh, she asked me if I wanted to shadow anywhere else, and I just did not. There's a lot of things that I liked about the company, just being there only one day. As soon as I walked into the door to the main office, it was like being in a big family, just very family oriented. Good people to be around, very helpful. I mean, you're always going to meet people that don't like you. You just got to learn to work around that. You're there for a purpose, to do a job. It's not, you're not always going to have, friends to work with. But anyway, then I did the summer with them and I did 400 hours. I started 2 days after school got out and I came back 2 days before, or I got done 2 days before school started. Then as a senior, I went back for a week in February and did a week internship with them. And then that kind of sealed everything. They knew they were hiring me when I graduated. That all like played out, I guess you could say. And then now I've been working for them since the end of June.
Austin, can I ask, what was it about the youth apprenticeship program? Why did you want to enroll in this program?
For the reason that I'm now graduated from high school and have a full-time job. That was the most important thing to me.
What would you suggest or share with any of the students who were on the Zoom tonight with regards to just anything about either the experience or why you think that they should, what are the benefits or just anything that insight wise you could share having been in their shoes, so to speak?
So definitely one of the really big time benefits of the apprenticeship program is when you go to a company, especially when you work for them for, 2 or 3 months, you get to meet people. People will learn about you. You get a chance to show your skills off. And then come when you graduate, that person can say, well, we want him back because he's useful. He can do this, he can do that. That's an important thing. Another big time thing, make sure you fill out your blue books. Ms. Rogers is going to tell you and tell you and tell you, but it's very important that you do that.
Indeed.
Thanks, Austin.
Austin, thank you. I greatly appreciate you taking the time. Austin was one of those kids that when I would go visit the work sites during the summer, he always seemed to be just happy doing what he was doing. And the heavy equipment program that we have is just, I can't say enough about that program and how what the kids end up learning within the 2 years of our program. So Austin, thanks so much. I appreciate you being with us tonight. And if I could ask Tara Dunspaw to unmute. Tara, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Tara, thank you. So Tara is the mother of Hayden Dunspaw, who is in our construction technology program down in Hudson. And Tara was kind enough to join us tonight because I thought it would be helpful from a parent's perspective that she share her thoughts about both Hayden's experiences, maybe his hesitations getting into the program, but what the outcomes were. So Tara, if you wouldn't mind sharing some of your thoughts.
So I did type something up because I was afraid I would mumble my words if I didn't. So I'm just going to kind of read through what I had jotted down so I don't miss anything. But yes, my son is a senior in the construction technology program. He was very fortunate to have this opportunity to participate in the apprenticeship program last summer with a local construction company called Cavagnaro Construction. My husband and I are extremely grateful to Questar and the people who helped him have this truly invaluable experience. The apprenticeship my son had, we feel, has set him up for a successful career and future in the construction field. When my son came home excited about something to do with school, I knew it had to be something really good because my son has never been one to want to do schoolwork or be involved with school, but Questar has really, really changed all of that for him. And the apprenticeship program has really made him focused and motivated and determined to do well in his senior year at Ichabod, as well as at his CTE program at Questar. And he's thrilled to know that when he graduates, he's going to have a job waiting for him. Through his work at Cavagnaro Construction this past summer, he learned all different aspects of construction. He would come home talking about all different things that he got to do, and he loved every minute of his work. He absolutely flourished, which was really nice to see as a mom. He continues to work with them on the weekends. Oh, and also one of the best parts I think for him was that Cavagnaro has an electrician that works for him full time. And Hayden discovered that he really loves electrical work. The electrician really kind of took him under her wing. So as he's learning construction, he's also learning electrical stuff with her. And he continues to work with her on the weekends. So he thinks now he might want to focus a little more on just the electrical, but that never would have happened without this apprenticeship program. So he has learned and continues to learn that his hard work pays off. He is very eager and excited to continue his journey with this company after graduation. Without Questar and this apprenticeship program, I'm afraid my son would not have any real direction for his life after high school. He would just be a kid kind of looking for a job, not really knowing how to find what he loves. He's always had an interest in tools. He's been tinkering and building things since he could walk. So Questar and this apprenticeship program have really, really given him that pathway to success. College is not going to be his thing, and he knows that, and that's okay. So this is why I'm just so grateful to this program, because the contacts he's made are amazing, and he's feeling a lot of success and pride in what he's doing. Just overall, the program has just given him that support and direction that he needs. And I want to just say that I would really highly recommend that your child take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. It's going to open doors that you didn't even know existed. And I really feel like it has set him up for a successful career and future. And maybe he'll stick with the electrical, or maybe he'll just do the construction, but now he knows he has options and he's got a path to get there. So my husband and I just can't thank Questar and the faculty and staff enough, and Mr. Cavagnaro for giving Hayden this amazing opportunity. I know my son will be happy and successful with his career, and it really is all thanks to this program. I've known Mrs. Walker since we were kids. So every time I see her, I would just say, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for doing this, because without it, I really don't know what he would do after school. So we're just extremely grateful. And I talked to Hayden this afternoon. He didn't want to get on, but he did say that he's very glad he did this. He really appreciates the work, and he's just really excited to graduate and continue on this path. So thank
That's
you
great.
very much.
Thanks, Tara. Thank you. I appreciate the comments, but when it all comes down to it, if the students, it's really whatever they make of this program. So obviously between Hayden and Austin, they are great examples of students who took advantage of this opportunity and made the most of it. And, we like to talk about the fact that this is a workforce development program, because that's what businesses like to hear. But I think these two examples are important because it's about the kids and it's about what they have made of this opportunity. And we're hoping that we can do the same thing for the upcoming summer, that we can have more Austins and Haydens that will be participating in the program. So Tara, thanks again. I appreciate that. I'm going to ask that Joan, my colleague Joan Rogers, jump back on with regards to talking about the next steps.
Okay.
Can I butt in for a second?
Absolutely.
I gotta sign off, you guys. So thank you for
Okay.
having me. And I wish everyone that's considering doing this well, just keep your heads up, do good work.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Austin.
it. Be well.
Okay, next steps. There's an application that are going to be ready to go in your friendly work-based learning office at whatever school you're in. So come down and either see me, Mrs. Rogers, or Mrs. Walker down in Hudson. It's a 2-page application, and the first page is simply signatures. We want the student to sign it, parents to sign it, and we ask that you get your teacher to sign it as well, which you shouldn't have a problem because they've already recommended you for this. It basically says the criteria students must be enrolled in any of the 5 programs that we've already outlined. If you're in a program that offers the OSHA, you should have completed that already. You must be a student in good standing. And you agree to complete a job shadow during your junior year. We reiterate on the application that students either need to have either access to transportation or drive themselves, or have somebody be able to take them to a job shadow or the job over the summer. We already talked about the grades and the absences, and the second page is basically an essay. And we ask in 1 to 2 paragraphs why you want to be part of the youth apprenticeship program. So that's basically it. This is a quick turnaround. We ask that the applications are due by December 15th. Okay, so that is next Friday. They're going to be available tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 7th. You got 1 weekend and the rest of the full week, and it is okay to bring these back. We'll also give you email contact information to email the essay to the work-based learning coordinators, but we do need these signatures back. So that's the application. We will review the applications. We will come up with a list, and if you are invited to interview, then you have made it to the next phase of the process. Those interviews will be scheduled for mid-January. We don't have the dates yet, and depending on how many students will be part of it, but they'll be occurring at each of our centers with the work-based learning coordinators and some of the teachers, not the program teachers, but we have a panel that we will bring students in. Don't be nervous. Then if you have made, then we evaluate those interviews. Then by the end of January, parents and students will get a letter saying that you've made it to the next step. And that is the job shadow, which happened February through April. There is some paperwork before students go out on job shadows, and they will be made aware of that prior to the job shadows. They're like a full day pass, that kind of thing, and a timesheet. We ask that students, we'll talk about that, during the next phase. And then we kind of already went through the timeline, the matching day, the YAP agreements are due in May. And then there is, if you have made it, if a match has been successfully made, then there, of course, always paperwork. So before you begin. So
Thanks,
I wish
Joan.
I wish everyone a lot of luck. And like I said, there'll be a stack of applications in my office tomorrow, ready to go for whoever is considering it.
And
I
if I
just
could,
want to jump in really quick. For those students that are in the Durham school, I just wanted to mention that I will be emailing Mr. Nicholson the application, so he'll print them out, and then you can get the application from him, and you can also hand the application to him, and then he'll bring the stack over, or we'll get the stack over to the Hudson school as well. So you don't have to worry about like either emailing or how you're going to get the application from the Donald Klein school if you're in the Durham school. And then the Donald Klein students, you can just get the application from my office, but I'll probably just bring them around to the classrooms so that each of the classrooms will have the application as well.
and thanks, Kia. And the only thing I'll just mention as well for the students, so when the shadowing opportunities come up, try to put your best foot forward. It's an opportunity with these businesses. They are looking for apprentices that have a good work ethic and are knowledgeable. and are, have the skills with regards to collaborating and looking to work with others and things of that nature that, I think we take for granted, so to speak. But that is a real opportunity to try to impress the employers, because sometimes with employers, we've had some employers who have hired a couple of students, a few students. We've had other employers that have selected one, even though they've had 2 or 3 or 4 students there for shadowing opportunities. So that's just a little word of advice. Before I stop sharing my screen, here's our contact information. If you need to reach out to us, please let us know if you have any questions. We will be happy to respond to you. But at this point right now, as we get close to wrapping up here, just wanted to see if anybody had any questions. I see that there are a couple of questions in the chat here. I cannot see any slides, but yes, for the question of whoever could not see slides, yes, this will be available afterwards. If you wouldn't mind just following up with me, I can shoot you an email if that works for you. See, the second question is asking the same thing. Does anybody have any questions about the program itself going forward? Well, we must have really either knocked it out of the park with regards to the information that we shared with you guys tonight.
I have a question.
Sure.
Will there be like an interview practice for the kids? So that when they have to go for their interview, they will have a little bit of experience?
That's a good question. I mean, we don't really have a practice interview, but I will be meeting, and I believe Mrs. Walker will be meeting as well with all the students who are scheduled for the interview. And we're going to pull everybody together and just give them a little, not coaching, but, answer any questions once we get to that point. We'll just explain it a little bit further.
Yeah.
Because I know just to calm the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I am not looking to put pressure on the students, so maybe I shouldn't have said it the way I did. They are not going to be sat down in front of potential employers and be quizzed on all sorts of things. If anything, what we look for in these shadowing opportunities are for the students to get an idea of the kind of work that they'd be doing during the summer, learn about the businesses, and and at that point, either share some information about themselves, their interests, what they're learning about in the classroom, that kind of stuff. Please, if I need to emphasize anything again, it's that this is not something that, they are going to be quizzed and questioned when they go on these shadowing opportunities. So I'm sorry if I kind of created some confusion there.
Quite frankly, it's so much more about having a really good attitude and about, being ready to learn and showing up on time.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I have a quick question. Could you explain what the job shadowing, what that exactly is and what the kids would be doing?
Yeah, so it's as you would expect with a shadow, there's no work that they would be doing. It's basically to get them on site for either a half a day or a full day, depending on what the company can offer time-wise, and to, as mentioned, to help educate the student about here's the kind of work that we do. Because a lot of businesses, there's a perception of, okay, a business does this and that's all they do. Depending on the size of the business, there may be different opportunities in that business once you get your feet in the door to go on to different, different departments or things of that nature. So it's an opportunity for the student to learn about the business, to learn about the kind of work that they'd be doing over the summer, to make sure that there is a good fit there and there's an understanding. And again, it's also an opportunity for the student, when possible, to be able to share information about, hey, listen, as Austin was saying before, he knew what he wanted to be doing. He wanted to impress his employers. So he probably shared a lot of information with regards to the kind of things or interests that he did to really to interest the employer. So it just comes down to an opportunity for both the student and the business to kind of feel each other out and see if it's a good fit, because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. And that's why we do 2 shadowing opportunities. We've had students who have visited businesses and they realize that, that business is not their cup of tea, so to speak. So at the end of the day, we want this to be a good experience for both the student and the business.
Now, would the students be responsible for their own transportation during this particular February to April?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
There was a question in the chat about putting the contact information slide back up.
Okay. Let's see here. Can everybody see that? So with that being said, and if there are no other questions, although I see there's three, okay. Are we all set? Did everybody see the information? Does anybody between the information or questions? Does anybody else, anybody have anything else? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say thank you again to everybody, both my colleagues who took part and also attended tonight's meeting, but obviously to the parents and students. We greatly appreciate your time. We hope that there is interest in that your students will be applying. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And obviously, with us being in December, I wish everybody a happy holiday season, good health, and a good new year coming up. And we're looking forward to a really good 2024 youth apprenticeship opportunity. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you.